Uneducated psychologist here. Let's work on Chapter 5 of SUNGUN. And before we get too far, let's, oh dear, uneducated psychologist. Wow, I have to Google it or type it in every time. Wonder who's calling me. Oh dear. Let's make sure. Alright. Actually got what did I get? I got an email. Alright. Alright. As chaste Mayor Phil intimidated Gary, the installer and fast track team leader both humbled each other naturally by simply being in the room together, even though they had very different life experiences, especially when it came to sexuality. From Phil's we have questions, right? From Phil's Rabbit Farm, the Silence nightclub almost disappeared across the desert landscape. Both lights and sound shutting down as if the stars above replaced all city services. Our chaste Mayor Phil promoted a city ordinance to turn off sound pollution by 10 p.m. every day of the week, and the municipal blockchain enforced it without fail. Just to make an appearance, chaste Mayor's ex-wife Molly also had a good relationship with Gary. Their PriCam avatars partying whenever the system created an event for a collective training session. 2 S's in session. Right? Now I gotta Google that. Like, we don't know the answer, but we should know the answer. Yeah. Mel's the kindergarten teacher. So I gotta figure out all this jumping around, how to unite it. Mel's the kindergarten teacher, and Gary did have a slight conflict when it came to his sexuality, so their PriCam avatars tended to avoid each other, a digital override required by an authenticated user outside the Priverse. When it came to security, the AI training system was confined in a narrow band to keep AI training from leaking between different sandboxes. The Priverse safe, yet dangerous. Dangerous at some times. Sean was the HOA president even during off hours, yet in a constant duel. Gary both yet in a constant duel with Gary, both popping out the end of each AI training session. Popping off at the end of each AI training session outside the Priverse. The nightclub was a perfect place to sync human with machine as long as the cap cages were on correctly. Each visor linked directly to the interplanetary blockchain above. Oh, shoot. which some suggested was maintained by SUNGUN. At first sight, Gary thought Buck was a philosophical zombie void of thought, like a hero trying to eat a trickster. Vomit. Buck, on the other hand, saw the chief as a most indecisive person he had ever met, since the chief never knew what he wanted for himself, only what he should do in the world. Even the nightclub GG criticized Gary for not having his past dental records, and equally loathed the others for even existing. When Gary looked in the mirror, the glass simply shattered. SUNGUN blamed as if shot from outer space. Investments went according to plan. Investments went according to plan when Gary called up Lisa to make her magic happen. Their relationship with SUNGUN only making things more complicated. Their relationship between each other took a questionable turn each time they interacted. Generally, both were mostly bisexual, which meant they had a thing for each other. A natural tendency for their personalities to link up with a deep sense of passion. Only problem was work, preference, and marriage vows to another. Lisa tried her hardest to get Gary in on the hemp block idea and make it part of his company inventory. You know what to make it? You know you want to make it happen, Gary. Lisa was smiling with a passionate look. Girl, you need some gene therapy. That's right. Change your denim DNA if you want to roll with me. He always joked, if you were a generation younger. She consistently rolled her eyes with satirical contempt, poking fun at him. You wish, old man. Gary jumped around to the house and made a demanding request. You need to put the Canadian truckers' GMO protest on the big oval. Thank you. Just like that, Gary got what he wanted, a simple act to virtually poke his husband in the eye. With an anti-authoritarian feel, Gary loved to embarrass closed mindsets. his priverse mentality proving resilient in the face of controversy. Yes, it is really that simple. Just get on the screen, yes. Gary dancing away with a reverse slide backwards like marching in mud. With the real agents, with the real agenda, Gary took his little show to the center of the dance floor and snapped his fingers to the beat. A unique NFT projection of a Siamese cat appearing with 10x the mass of the real thing. The giant cat became an instant success, a crowd pleaser without any risk to safety. The golden drop coin was the perfect referral token according to Gary. His idea to peddle something from his own company, simply too much trouble. It was true under him. It was true under him the company didn't. It was true that under him the company did not go public, since Gary wanted to keep regulators away from his business as much as possible, even if that meant losing capital in the long run. As a side project, Gary made closed caption NFTs of solar training scenarios, the short clips highlighting the best moments of each session. With regular intervals, Gary projected the virtual moments to his nightclub friends. A quick glance at it to get the tiny party started. At just the right moment, a perfectly timed apparition appeared, the blended form of both saleswoman and customer in an artistic assembly of memory constructs. The NFT was really a cascade of puppets, a conformal infinity determining the projection boundary. Really only one thought stuck in me, and only when I imagined the mental world, a dangerous thought for myself, much like nature breaking into the non-physical world of humans. With a simple diagnosis, I understood at least one thing. It took more than one mind to create an identity in the physical world. The biggest danger for the ice rink was how closed off the space was, like a giant target for some omega insult to rage on. Not much was forbidden in the world of virtual property, a land of make-believe even the government got in on. The shooting spree solution was simple: just make physical According to most Canadian truckers, the shooting spree solution was simple: just make physical contact a purely mental process. Rejecting the material world as fundamental in favor of the mind was tough, but with a little bit of effort, Gary knew the nightclub succeeded in changing one confused consciousness at a time. Gary had an inner sense. His parent was a meathead, a potential truth Gary found deep meaning within. The rest was all working out and messaged afterward. The rest was all working out and messaged afterwards. A process half initiated through a cap cage placebo effect. Wow, I don't know what any of those words mean. But that's where we are. That was chapter 5. And so we're going to have to go for a chapter 6, but not yet. So, all you SUNGunners, uneducated psychologists,